and see what they're able to pull out today. I mean, if you have the chops to make top 8 reliably and manage to take down a feeling, then you got to have some good stuff on your side. But 17% of you guys in the audience seem to be on their side. 83% going with Reject, and I can't blame you. These guys are consistent and they are scary. But nonetheless, it's all getting started on Gold Arm Gulch.
I will say, I think that 83%, as sad as it is, reflects the actual likelihood of 3R winning. They're 13% on. It's not looking the best for them, but we're on Golden Gulch. The bans are in. Bonnie is going to be the first pick from 3R here. Ban's going to be the Tick, the Gene, and the Grey. From the side of 3R, we've got the Squeak, the Grom, and the Sprout. Not going to want a couple of those throwers, and I think Squeak's an understandable ban too.
Okay, 2 selections for Reject. Maybe picking up their mid-brawler. Might be a little bit thrower-brained here, too. They got rid of the Tick. And 3R Gaming eliminate the Sprout and the Grom. Not a whole lot more viable options to go for, which could open up some new opportunities for them. Shelly is what they decide to go for. And another brawler they can decide to go with. Keep in mind some of the more common victors on this map, too, that we pulled from the last month, aggregated across all regions. But Gus is still kind of an S-tier brawler right now. He's very versatile, and combined with Shelly is a force to be reckoned with. I will say he is absolutely a support, though, when it comes to featuring Shelly in the main match. Give her some extra health, right? Get that shield up, and let Shelly do Shelly things.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the way to go, but Meg is not what I would go for, to be honest with you. You know, I expressed my frustration with people still picking Meg in one of the previous matches today, but I don't think it's that good at all anymore. It had quite a few sizable nerfs, and Shelly Gus is much more my speed. I like the Penny Bonnie, very good pick from 3R on that side of things, but the Meg has just ruined it for me. And seeing Shelly and Cordelius on the same side, who do you think is going to win this one, Reddy?
Okay, well, I'm going to put my chips on Reject pretty easy. I mean, look, seeing the Shelly, the Gus, and the Cordelius all on the same team, it's like you looked at the top of the like the tier list and just picked the stuff in like SS tier for your roster. Now, it's possible to, as I love to say, have a lot of good pieces and not make a great puzzle. You know, putting all legendaries on your team just because they're nice and shiny doesn't mean that you're gonna win. But Reject here, I think, have gotten a good assembly of brawlers because Gus is able to work really well with both of these guys. And Reject have a serious aggression possibility here. Leva's just gonna go for the immediate aggression, immediate punishment too. I think he might have expected to win by default because of the Cordelius pick, but that's not how it works, buddy. You're in a monthly final.
I will say, I think he got some decent charge towards his super, a couple of bursts of shots, but I don't think it was the best decision to go that aggressive. Definitely put his team at a bit of a unfortunate position early on. Menmi's Band-Aid was popped there as well, and Chapey's going to get the super, and that's obviously going to be pretty useful with Shelly and Cordelius on your team, but Cordelius isn't there at the moment, so I don't think they'll attempt for the win here.
Menmi and Choppy left completely to their own devices on the right side. Neko also has a super, which looks like they'll be trying to preserve for the next round, as they seem to think that they have this one a lock for now. Good combo here from a Choppy and Menmi. That's 1 down, 2 more to go. Big damage on Neko, and a Choppy might be able to finish it off. Menmi goes in for the big stuff. Still no super. Choppy looks to shut things down. 1-2 shots in with the Kooky Popper. Neko with a double kill, though. A bit too risky hanging out there next to the poison, and Reject unexpectedly lose round number 1. And I say a Reject loss because it felt like more of that than a 3R Gaming win. Sure, we had some good moments in there, but the moments where Reject were really playing are sort of taking these guys to town.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the gas is Penny's biggest friend there. Took one of them down, and they couldn't really do too much. I think they kind of had to accept at that point that one of them had to just be hit by the Penny, and one of them had to try and get the kill. She couldn't multitask and get both, but the gas definitely helped out quite a bit there. And Penny turret is down as well, so it's going to be tough for them. Jump comes in down the bottom now, and the Charpey's going to go down. Great play coming in from Hota there, and Menmi now trying to focus down on Nico, and does get the shots off. Not going to find the kill just yet, but he actually gets him in the realm. Great stuff from Levi, but he's not going to go for it. Menmi's just being chased down by Neko in the shadow realm, and this is a tough position for Reject to come back from, and I don't think they've played this comp very well whatsoever.
Then they should have approached it with. Really unexpected here from Reject. 3R Gaming obviously playing their best, and a well-earned victory for them. But Reject, what is their approach this time? Levi, once again with the immediate aggression. It's not going to earn too much for him and the team. And 3R Gaming stands strong with a 3 versus 2.
Well, Sharpay and Memi almost made it happen last time. Will they be able to bring something this time without Cordelius on the side once more? And at this point, I think, you know, he was going for a super again, and he just got punished in the same way, and he needs to learn. Memi has the super, though, and might be able to make something happen, but at the moment, like I said last time, I don't see them being able to win this 3v2 unless something miraculous happens.
3R Gaming looking alive and healthy. Memi does have the super, so once we see a super go to Gus, it'll pretty much be at least one free kill for Minmi, unless 3R Gaming find a way to play around it. The Shelly playstyle can be frustrating to deal with. A Choppy and Minmi. Okay.
Yeah, accepting defeat. I feel that's the best way of putting it. And I can't blame them either. I'd be walking into the gas if my teammate was walking into the team over and over again as well. But we'll see if he does it 4 for 4 and walks into them and dies yet again. But he does need something. Super comes out, follow up Clay Pigeon, not getting a lot from it. The Gus shield was behind them as well. Levi surely got to be fairly close to a super now, but they're doing a good job of staying out his range. But Sharpay trying to aggress down the right-hand side onto it, but actually the gadget gets it. Brilliant stuff from a Sharpay, and he seems like the only one who's making things happen at the moment.
Well, it took them a moment to get the ball rolling, but they now seem to be steamrolling the enemy team. Yume on the backside is going to get forced out of that mech. Easy kill versus Hota. They do lose Minmi in the process. Yume might be able to farm the mech back up. Just wait in time. Levi also waiting around the edge. It will probably end up feeding that super, but it doesn't really matter versus Yume. Both Choppy and Levi have their supers. It's good business for the next round. They might try and run it down. Minmi has the super, so they have all the tools in the toolkit necessary to make this work. Unfortunately, it looks like they chose the wrong side. All 3R Gaming are on the right side, and they have a bit of ground to cover to try and surprise these enemies.
Oh, Levi has the super, didn't use it there. Could have used it on Nico to be able to get something happening, and just choosing not to. They have the supers available as well, so they're going to be able to Gus shield up and get some stuff down. There it is. Gets it off now and needs to try and find something onto him. Almost getting taken down here. Very, very low. Has a super cycle as well, but it's not going to matter if he goes down in this round because it will be where it decided. But good job he has that super back, or that could have been an extremely big wasted opportunity.
Neko still from the back left side looks to get that super for free practically. Minmi also staying behind some of these obstacles. If the poison closes everyone in, they're in a pretty good situation. Levi is also able to force things into the Shadow Realm for a good bit of control. Now the jump in from Hota, Choppy and Minmi trying to fall in turn. Levi forces things into the Shadow Realm. And it could be an easy kill versus Yume. They're going to let them out of the Shadow Realm first, and a takedown of the poison gives a win to
It's convincing, and I am still a little bit scared for Reject that they might still lose this set, but they seem to be getting a better grip of this comp now, and knowing that they need to play it for the late game unless someone completely steps out of line. Levi choosing not to go directly down the left-hand side and just walk in a straight line this time. He's going to be able to find Hota here. He might be able to get super off it as well. Does bring him into that realm. Gets the heals off as well. Not the best cycle, but they're not going to complain about making it a 3v2.
I think Reject came into this one with the mentality that they could end this one off really, really fast, and in the process, really just made it take longer. So now that they've decided to slow down the pace a little bit in game number 2, collect themselves, they precisely know how to play it more quickly come game number 3. Reject, it's pretty much a free win for them here. Minmi with some spins and an easy takedown to Yume. Like we like to say, psychological warfare. Spin on your opponents, get them a little bit tilted. They're going to rush down the right lane here, hopefully. Everyone goes down the right lane for them. Looks like they took the bait. 3R Gaming now have to abandon ship and move back. Takedown onto Levi. It's already a 3v2.
Not again. It's just never ending at this point. They get a leg up and then instantly knocked back down again. Levi falls in the early seconds of this round, and now it's down to a Sharpay and Minmi once again to make something happen. Looks like Yume and the boys over on 3R are just staying a bit passive this time rather than trying to force something into happening. But I'm not counting out Sharpay and Minmi because they've definitely got the skill to be able to win a 3v2. But without that third member, and especially when it's Cordelius, it's going to be very hard.
I struggle to see the merit of ending the round off so quickly because they definitely are capable of winning this towards the later stages with the 3v3 comp. I mean, they did in the last game very consistently. The speed with which they're trying to finish this one out is really dragging it on a little bit longer, but Reject absolutely can do this in the 2v3. Minmi has that super. It's not going to do much for him. Neko also firing at an enemy that's long ago dashed into that poison. And it's now the final round to determine the outcome of this set.
I mean, if Reject lose it, I'm going to feel a little bit betrayed by this competition, yeah. I feel. Because, I mean, it's just been walking a straight line and kind of costing the games from Levi here, and it's not the best for them. But now Memmi has the super. Levi playing it a bit more passively, waiting for this late game, and as you said, that's where they're going to excel the most. It's just a question of whether or not they're going to be able to get there.
Well, with things developing on the right side of the map, it's now becoming more evident why Reject might have wanted to end this one quickly. That Penny turret can be seriously oppressive, especially versus Levi and Minmi, both of which have shorter ranges than everyone else on the enemy team. Minmi's going to get some decent damage, though, versus Hota. He's kind of pinched out on the top side. Jump in from Hota, an easy kill. Minmi looks for the kill. There it is. It's a 2v2. But sort of a 2v3. That Penny turret is still in play. Big damage on a Neko. Levi's just barely alive. Yume has a lot of health. Now sent down to the Shadow Realm. Got to see some good dodges from Levy. Here it comes. Yume will be able to get more damage. She's popped out of the mech with the shield active, but it's all done and dusted.
Considering the brawlers they were against. So I'm still very hopeful for 3R Gaming in the long run, but Kaboom Canyon is up next. I feel like that's one of those pretty secure maps. If you get control and you're a good enough team, you should be able to win it.
All right, time for some heist. As we now, oh, that's a cool skull with the hat on it. Okay, yeah, so super ADHD moment here, but let's get into this draft. There's plenty to focus on here, so that'll keep us all occupied. 3R Gaming with the bands already. Cordelius, the Crow, and the Bell banned out. Reject now with the Tara, the Bell, and the Bonnie banned out, and they are the very first pick here. Kaboom Canyon, Trav, what do you think are some sleeper picks here?
I mean, I don't know about sleeper picks, but Shelly's still open, and Shelly's very good on Kaboom Canyon. You know, speed gear in this grass, keep the supers going. I mean,
okay.
I mean, they've gone with the Shelly, they've picked it up, and, you know, I think it's kind of expected for the side of Reject. As I said, speed gear in this mid through the grass can do very, very well. But now 3R, I think they've kind of got to go for a bit of a ranged approach, and even, I was going to say slide the Crow in, it's got such a good rim weight, but it's actually going to be banned out, so maybe they're going to have to just break up the grass, go with like a Brock, something like that, just absolutely tear it all down.
Yeah, well, we see some of the high win rate brawlers mentioned here. Brock, definitely one of them. Amber also with a pretty good win rate. 8-bit, one that we see appear from time to time, but can be difficult to execute. You need to have those walls up to make 8-bit work. We'll see Eve as a selection as well. This is an interesting one. You'll be able to get some good spam out here, deal with some of the long-range brawlers. Some of the better ones have been banned out already. I think also with the prospect of wall break from a Choppy, it's going to be kind of troublesome for 8-bit to keep this alive. I think more than anything, 3R Gaming know that they can get just like one decent push onto that save, and they can win this. And now it's going to be Reject's job to play control and make sure that they never advance beyond there. Squeak could be one of the brawlers for the job. They have to think about how they're going to clear out the grass, though.
Well, the return of Jesse once more in this region never fails to amaze me. I like the Jesse. Going to be able to bounce off a lot of those Eve spawn-ins and the 8-bit turret and slowing things down, getting decent damage with the turret as well. I do like the pick, but I feel like they do need something with a bit more range now to be able to fight against this 8-bit in the early game, fight against the Eve when it's going to be able to levitate over the water. So we'll see what they do choose to go in with. Whether they're just going to go with the call. Okay, I don't mind that. Obviously going to be able to fly and hook over the water, try and fight Eve in the early game and not let them get that early control.
Final selection, how do you deal with all three of these brawlers while still getting some good control for yourself? I mean, Colette is always an open option. They didn't go for it earlier when they had the 2-3, so clearly they weren't really worried about playing into it on that 8-bit. It's a classic 8-bit counter. You can also see it do fairly well versus tanks, especially versus some of the spawnables. Maybe don't want to get too close to the Shelly, but it's also a pretty successful brawler here. They decide to go with the Griff. Can't complain, really. Get some of the walls broken open where you don't like them, and also get wide open area control. Solid damage versus basically anything, too. Might struggle a little bit on the range front versus the Jesse, but aside from that, I'm definitely liking these selections from 3R Gaming. I think it's inventive. The only one that I begin to question a little bit is the 8-bit, but they first picked it certainly for a good reason.
Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty similar scenario to the first. I really do like Reject's comp, but I also think 3R, they have a bit of a leg in it, a bit of a foot in the door, just purely because of the damage they can output on a singular push, whereas it seems like that Reject comp is going to be a bit more control-based. Early flying hook there from Carl, going to get quite a good shot on Hota, and now follow-ups onto Yume as well. And I mean, they haven't even shot a shot, pretty much, and they're already back in the spawn.
As early game domination and Reject are already all over this safe like white on rice. Levi, Minmi, serious damage in, and Chompy has yet to even get a super, but he still contributed a good amount to that safe damage so far, now dipping below 50%. And RC, except for their first casualty, Minmi once more going to town on that safe, and a Chompy gets the super, looking for a good opportunity to throw that one in too, trying to keep Neko on the back lines as well. Hota, Yume looking for any semblance of control that they can possibly muster. The takedown to a Chompy certainly will help, but once they get to Reject safe, if they do, they need to get lots of damage locked in and fast, unless they want Levi to make it all the way to the enemy side. A good trade on the left side will still keep 3R back, and Reject might be able to power through this defense once again, finish off the safe without a scratch landing on theirs.
He's got 22% left, so it's definitely a possibility. Levi not got any flying hooks left, but if he gets super, then he's going to be able to go aggressive. These spawners going to come in now, but the bouncers everywhere. They've gone to the turret, they've gone to the spawners. Sharpage is going to go in for the kill and blow now. Yume's low, but he does get the kill onto Jesse. Memmi and Levi coming up and trying to finish this one off. Spin going to avoid pretty much everything. Get taken down eventually. Super there from Memmi, not going to be used, but 15% left. And 3R, I think it's the first time we've even seen them at the halfway point.
Certainly so. It's been a really fast match so far. And yet 3R Gaming have only now taken mid. Reject putting up a good defense too. Minmi has a super, Chompy has a super. Levi, no gadgets for him, but he has a super that he can use for a bit of movement. Here he comes, trying to avoid a lot of the damage from Hota, but it's not going to work out too well. Minmi forces some room up on the left side. Neko also playing defense, and here's the turret in. Could get some good control lockdown, destruction of the turret. Once more defensive Minmi on the left. 3R Gaming have some good defense, but in a lot of cases, the best defense is a good offense, which they've been seriously lacking on that front. 6% remain, 15-second countdown to make it all work. It's just not possible. As we dip below 10 seconds remain, they're going to give it their best shot, but the game's already locked in unless 5 seconds left could be a lot. No, not quite. 49% left. Not even
shots connect, and everybody from the side of 3R just retreated into their spawn. Instant 70% for Reject, and then from there, it wasn't even like they weren't even really trying. Carl was just going in to try and delay time.
Well, he's going to be accelerating the time this time, it looks like. He has some gadgets to work with. 3R Gaming, though, are already in defensive formation. Levi now with a super forward. Not even a protective pirouette to cover his tracks, but it doesn't even seem to matter. Neko, Yume, go to town, get the destruction. They seem to abandon Minmi on that enemy safe. A lot of damage locked in already. 6K. Devastating amount, but 3R Gaming had their focus fully locked in on the enemy safe. 87% remain, and Shelly continues to hammer down. It's a base race, and the clock is ticking in the sense of Minmi's reload speed compared with the damage he's able to put out. Neko gets some serious contributions onto the safe. Yume also around the left side needs to avoid that turret. Minmi continues doing what he does best, just 4 shots left, and it'll be a GG. Levi with the final pickaxe swing, stealing some of the valor.
Just one set away from closing this thing out and moving on to face Crazy Riku.
Hard Rock Mine could be the final stand for 3R unless they somehow manage to pick up the pieces, but you got to pick up at least 10 gems to get that countdown started and make it happen fast, because Reject has been sort of taking these sets as speedruns. They tried to do it in set number 1, and they only barely managed to make it out of that one with a W. But now on a gem grab, a little bit slower, not possibly as fast as Heist. We'll see how Reject operate, as they do have that first pick once again. 3R. They could go for the 8-bit once again. If they're particularly partial to the 8-bit, they can make it work. But their bands so far don't exactly have 8-bit written on them.
Well, Stu's going to be the first pick there from Reject, and looking at the win rates, we've got Shelly open again, I believe, actually. I didn't see it on the bands. Mr. P going to be the first Mr. P, a first pick. That's a little bit wild, but RT's going to come up after that, and I do like that a little bit more. See quite a lot of range coming out of 3R right now, and not the same story for Reject. still do have the possibility of just doubling down on the short range and going aggressive with something like a Shelly, or if they kind of pivot off that and try and match some of this range in mid. 8-bit still available through the mid, Gene still there as well.
Okay, Rico from Reject. One more selection on their side. I like the pick of Mr. P into Stu, but I don't like that they picked it so early because he's such an easy brawler to rush down. His DPS is really, really not good. He only gets value from that turret, and aside from that, he's not really that strong of a brawler. So we got to see some sort of rush down. Max is going to be a Reject's choice now. Max has fallen off a lot in popularity and a lot in strength. I mean, she already didn't do that much damage with her main attack, and now she's a little bit weaker, but this region's pretty partial to her, and this will allow them to rush things down pretty effectively. They're just not doing it with a whole lot of health, which would be, I think, the usual approach that the rest of the world would take. But, well, this is East Asia, and they are kind of the most winningest region of all, so I'll trust them on this one.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to, right? I mean, as you said, Max has definitely fallen off. Maybe not in popularity because people still love it, but definitely in terms of how good the actual brawler is. And a Grey coming down in Harder at Mine. It's not something I've really seen. I don't know about you, Ready Seb, but I can't say I've really seen Grey at all in Harder at Mine, and I'm not sure. I mean, yes, it's going to be able to TP onto Rico, right? But I don't know if it's really going to be able to pull through.
I might be able to tell you more about what 3R Gaming dislike than what they like. I think they really dislike DPS because that's sort of what the Grey and the Mr. P have written all over it. They might be able to get some good value here, but they don't really put up a great fight versus the speed that Max has to offer. Then again, I don't really see Max having a good combo with the Rika. Actually, never mind. Now, the more that I think about it, it can be pretty fearsome. Levi's just going to beam things down at mid. The suppressing fire is out, and Yume's looking for that very first super. Perhaps a kill onto a Choppy could make that Grey seem a bit more threatening. Hota also looking for the very first super. He'll be able to take down that turret nice and easy, but he's got to be able to hit that shot, and he missed his chance just a moment ago. That speed zone's going to be open up for a bit longer, and a Choppy on the right side is giving a real hard time to the Grey. Neko and Hota also really locked in here on the left side, but the turret's down. Levi with 5 gems in hand, 0 to the other side. Put Reject in a pretty strong formation.
Yeah, now push back quite hard, but they do have a little bit of a leeway with this 4-gem lead that they have. Made that 3 now as a couple are picked up from the mid on the side of 3R Gaming. Speed still available from Levi, but they've always got to be scared of this TP coming in onto a Sharpay, and I think that's what they're kind of backing off for. Speed pop there by Levi. Not seeing a lot of movement down here though, but now he eventually comes up and gets hit quite hard by Neko, and TP almost used there as he was considering it. Now goes past, but the gadget used, and he does fall quite low, but gets the kill. Memi going on a bit of a tear. Left, right. Now going forward a bit further as well, but does eventually go down, but not without Levi swooping out with another couple of gems.
Okay, powered up turret. Hoda has one more of these left. Choppy on the right side has a super, tries to beam him down, but misses unfortunately. Didn't have the intel that he was a bush more forward than he expected. In the meantime, 3R Gaming are slowly catching up to Reject, now picking up the 7th gem of the game, or perhaps not. Good peel there from a Choppy. Levi, the suppressing fire again, and the final phase shifter from Levi may be a bit risky because he doesn't have one in his back pocket for that 10th gem, but a lot of area control forces 3R Gaming out of the area, and they won't be able to catch up within this timer. They gotta get a kill onto Levi, and he is pretty slimy with all that speed and the speed gear active, but he doesn't have a phase shifter. He's not uncatchable. 5 seconds left. He's seriously out of range. Here's the teleport in from Yume. Levi has to dodge it out. There it is. Yume almost managed to pick up some of those gems and get out of there, and a Choppy has too much health to get taken down. He's the gem carrier now. Levi and Minmi get to make do with some of the speed and some of the DPS.
I mean, talk about a ridiculously strong gadget. He just got a kill, and another one just randomly didn't even mean to get a little bit further on. Choppy's going to go now, but he's actually going to be quite out here. Mr. P might be able to bring him down. Going to miss a few shots. No! Maybe even auto-aim one on Levi.
I mean, you can't really reveal your secrets to anyone, but Reject now have poised themselves for match point. Just 1 game victory away from going to the grand finals. I love that play from a Choppy towards the end of the game. I mean, was it really necessary? No. Was it incredibly risky? Yeah, but did it matter in the end? Not really. I mean, Mr. P fired off 3 shots, and Levi Choppy either dodged them all, or Hota was under a lot of pressure. And I would expect just as much from 3R Gaming as they're on the cusp of defeat after working so hard to take down Aphelion in the quarterfinals with a 3-2 victory. They now find themselves versus the second strongest team in the region in the semifinals. And so far, Reject, once more, just taking these guys to town. A Choppy on the back lines is a serious threat. Levi sitting nice and pretty with 6 gems, looking for the 7th, trying to dodge out the brawlers at mid. And only a single gem so far for 3R Gaming.
Yeah, Levi under a lot of pressure, but not off his own back. His Memmi's not doing the best against Mr. P, which is understandable. Tough matchup, but they are going to need to win it. Rico still sitting strong up top, and now eventually we get a bit of speed. We might see some more push out from Reject. I mean, look at Rico up top. He just hasn't moved, and I mean, Neko's not really pinching him, to be honest, but the suppression that we're seeing from 3R Gaming down the back, eventually a Choppy's going to fall, and now 3R might be able to establish themselves even more.
Well, takedown of the gym carrier, it's Minmi's responsibility now, and he's all marked up by Neko. Yuumi and Neko both try and get some damage versus him. He went for a massive risk, and Yuumi needs that teleport. He won't be able to get it. And all 8 gems go back to Levi's possession. Another takedown, another gem picked up. 9 gems so far, and just 1 more is all he needs. A free one for Neko as it appears on their side, and Choppy rolls up to the Brawl once again on the right side. Big pull versus Levi. That phase shifter came in real handy. Good teleport in from Yuumi, but the takedown on a Choppy is not there still. Neko makes away with 11 gems. Gotta see some kind of takedown onto him to reset that countdown. Reject simply don't have enough gems to stall it out on their own accord. Neko still alive on the back lines, plenty of health to work with. The insta-kill there with a Gadget 2, a team wipe, and 3R Gaming.
The possibility of a reverse sweep. Now, we need to see a little bit more, I feel, from Memmi, possibly wanting to swap lanes and allow a Choppy to be on that Mr. P, as I feel like that matchup is not great, but it's a little bit better.
Well, now once again, Levi at mid, under a lot of pressure. Yuumi, Neko, Nell. Oh, and even Hota. Musical lanes, everyone trying to switch onto their optimal matchup. And the same exact thing for Reject. Minmi, now over to the left side. 3R Gaming, they go for the lane switch again. Hota on the left side in the midst of all of it. 4 gems. Ooh, 5 gems on the ground. Minmi picking up 1, looking for more. He needs that super so badly, and he finally gets it. But he had to forfeit a speed zone in the process. Yuumi on the right side also, deep in enemy territory. In these bushes with the TP ready to go. Levi and Minmi, very aware of his presence. Minmi tries to get some value off of him, but won't be able to. Good use of the Gadget, too, from Yuumi. And a great teleport in. Might be able to get out of there. Levi has to have the dodges. No, Yumi's able to teleport back. Heal up 1,000 health in the process. See ya. And 8 gems for 3R Gaming.
I mean, I actually feel kind of bad for a Choppy here. It seems like the only one who's actually managing to do something. He's been in the spawn the whole game, but his teammates are going down time and time again. 3 in the pocket for Levi. Gadget to keep him low, and a Choppy gets another kill. Super's there as well. This man's on a mission, and his teammates are holding him back at this point, but they need to make something happen. 9 gems in the hands of 3R Gaming. We might be seeing a set 4.
Yumi's looking terrifying, and Reject have every reason to be a little scared of him too. Neko only barely holds on by 90 health. And the countdown's active, dipping below 10 seconds left. Minmi needs to make a hero play. Yuumi has a teleport out. Neko can't get too close to this guy, 5 seconds left. Levi, Choppy has the super, here it comes. Maybe some damage, no, nothing there. The teleport in, a kill to finish things off. Kind of taking them to work. I mean, 10 kills on that Rico. So much work put in there. But still a win for 3R Gaming gets us even more action. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if you're a Reject fan, are you really upset that you get to see more of them playing? Well, we'll get to see how they navigate Infinite Doom. Sort of a new map introduced to the BSC. We've seen a little bit of it here and there, but now we get to see it on the big stage in the monthly finals in the top 4. How do 3R Gaming and Reject draft this one?
I'm going to be honest, I think it's pretty well known that I absolutely hate this map. I'm not the biggest fan of it at all. Didn't like it in Wipeout, don't like it in Bounty. But I think it gives it a different aspect competitive, you know, different, little bit of a different meta. It kind of brings the Snake Prairie vibe without the Snake Prairie of having all this grass, but it obviously has the opportunity to be broken up as well, and Squeak being that first pick. It's good when you have the residues and you can block off avenues if you've got control. But if you don't have control and you're walking into a bush unknown of who's in there, I don't think Squeak's going to be, like, the best of picks. Obviously, it kind of backs it up with the win rate, but just off, like, pure feeling, I feel like Squeak can struggle sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, Squeak you get in close range versus Squeak, they'll be able to fire off some shots, but the reload speed isn't that great. You know, your DPS isn't phenomenal once you're threatened in close range. And then on top of that, you can get one residue down, get some visibility in one area, but there are better things for the job, such as this guy, Gene. Put the vision gear on that guy, you have so much visibility. And it's important to win this really, really early. At this point, I almost expect 3R Gaming to go with the Sandy. I mean, we remember the Gene Sandy Max from all those, I guess it was 2 years ago? So it's not that long, but it feels like forever. This is back before we even had draft. But even in the draft, some patterns still persist. Reject, it's time for their response.
We're going to see the Lola coming in. I don't know if I've ever seen Lola on this map, to be honest with you, but I trust in the Reject drafts, so we'll see how it does play out. Obviously going to be able to tank some stuff with that ego, with the freeze frame as well, and I think it can be decent. Got good scouting ability, has quite a decent spread, so they're going to go with the Stu as the last pick, and now I'm starting to question their comp a little bit more. I feel like they don't really have the required vision for it. If they have control early on, I think they'll be fine, but if they don't have it at all, and we see Gene pulls, max supers, then they're definitely going to struggle quite heavily.
Okay, somehow gotta keep Stu at range, or maybe have something that spawns to keep him occupied. The funny cactus with the face could be cut out for the job. Anything with a spawnable really could be viable here. Penny isn't banned, maybe. Brock, definitely gonna be good for getting some AoE. Is much easier to rush up on, so that does raise an eyebrow for me, especially for the interaction with Levi. You will be able to break open bushes, though. That'll be something good for 3R Gaming, but if they, and when they get control of those bushes, it won't be as good of a thing for them. So sort of a double-edged sword, but you can still play it to the best effect. Definitely leaning in Reject's favor for this one, since I see plenty of ways that the Gene can be dealt with. Lola with her ego, also Stu with the speed zone. Squeak, not so much, but that's a problem to be dealt with later. By later, I mean in a few seconds, because we're getting into it. Set number 4 is now upon us. Reject, one game away from going to a match point, and 3R Gaming just trying to keep their heads in the game.
We seem to be missing a member of Reject. Not sure what's going on with Levi, but he's probably back in the spawn. And to be honest, Reject are doing well with just the two of them. Now he comes out and he's going to be a bot. Yume's quite low, but this is a difficult spawn. I mean, Reject, considering it was a 2v3, are coming out on top.
Well, looks like Levi's reconnected now. That is the second best I've ever seen a bot play in Brawl Stars competitive. Number 1, of course, going to bot trap. Not to gas you up too much. We'll see what the gas heal can do on the right side, though. Levi now moving over to the left. Choppy trying to get some good damage in here. Yume's going to fall. Reject just barely tied with 3R Gaming here. Now advancing a bit more with 3 stars going to their side. 1:05 on the clock. Levi rushing forward, trying to get some good damage in here. Hota, Yume, Neko, all once more barely alive. And Reject sort of much the same, but they had that mid control that is crucial to keeping their victory here.
Levi's feeling himself today. He's going in against 3 of them all alone, and now choosing to try and do the same again. Obviously, going to be able to avoid quite a lot thanks to that soup. Oh, the soup comes down. Great connection. Few more onto him as well. Residue hits and say goodbye to Gene. 9-4 now, and possibly more with Levi going in here, but there's a pull available. He's a bit slimy, so he might be able to get out of it. He still hasn't even died. This man is unkillable.
Dude is in the Matrix, dodging every bullet that comes his way. He's solved the game, everybody. But it's not over yet. Still 7 stars left to make it to the 20-star mark. And 20 seconds left for 3R Gaming to try and win this one back. They have the speed, they have the pull. Neko is gonna go down. Levi alive and safe. Hota looks for the pull, but it's nowhere to be seen. Completely blocked off by the freeze frame and the ego. The panic super out. Hota doesn't connect. Choppy now with the takedown. Levi still alive, and Yume looks for anything at all, but 19 out of 20 stars on Reject's side.
We have to start and Levi and spawn. As soon as that man sprung out, he really sprung out.
We'll see if any trouble spring up for Reject this time. 3R Gaming need anything that they can get. And while they did have sort of a leg up at the beginning there, the blue star has already gone over to Reject once more. 1 star and a blue star lead for Reject. And 3R Gaming playing around these bushes as much as they can, looking for whatever control they can get. It's a tall order, though. Hota especially trying to scout things out. Mimi now coming in with the pressure on the left side. Very, very low health for Yume. He's trying to dodge out the shots, but it's so tough to do versus Lola. Her shot has such a large spread. So far for Reject, collectively, they've earned 7 stars. Only 13 more stars to victory, and they're sort of farming things in the back lines. 3R Gaming, they don't have more than 2 avenues out of spawn, and each one is almost completely locked down by Reject so far.
Well, the pull's there. Good connection by Hota there, and does actually get him down. It is 10-5 now. Shut that gap down a little bit more, but instantly Memby's going to extend it once more, and now just trying to use this ego to his advantage. Has another one in hand as well, so if that goes down, don't fret, we've got another. Uses the freeze frame too, tanks one of those block shots, but a squeak super still available. Neko's going to go down, and Levi's going to pick one up too. Yume's the only one surviving left. Should be dead as well, and he does go down. One more left, and Reject take it. They do shut it down in a 3-1, and they come out on top. Move into the finals once again for the El Clasico of this region, I'll put it. Crazy Raccoon versus Reject in the finals, and what a way to move on with that dominance.
El Clasico is absolutely correct, but look at the smiles as well from 3R. I mean, yes, it's bittersweet. You never like to be defeated, but to get that win over Reject, I think, has to be